incursions of the war taking place along the northern stretches. A state of emergency was declared in the Kursk border region, with Russian forces reportedly fighting near the town of Sudza. Ukrainian troops have advanced on foot as much as 10 kilometers inside Russian territory. The Institute for the Study of War has geolocated footage of Ukrainian forces inside Russia in the past few days and verified images appearing to show Russian prisoners of war being taken at border checkpoints.
We're not involved, we're not true.
Let's talk about this a little bit further. Incursions of the war taking place along the northern stretches. A state of emergency was declared in the Kursk border region, with Russian forces reportedly fighting near the town of Sudza. Ukrainian troops have advanced on foot as much as 10 kilometers inside Russian territory. The Institute for the Study of War has geolocated footage of Ukrainian forces inside Russia in the past few days and verified images appearing to show Russian prisoners of war being taken at border checkpoints.
Michael, good to have you with
us on the program. Thank you very much. Incursions of the war taking place along the northern stretches. A state of emergency was declared in the Kursk border region, with Russian forces reportedly fighting near the town of Sudza. Ukrainian troops have advanced on foot as much as 10 kilometers inside Russian territory.
Sure, good to be with you, Anita. Well, it's very, very interesting, fascinating. In fact, there's now discussion within the Atlantic Council that the slow Russian response may indicate hints of insubordination at this point, because it's very difficult to explain this almost completely impotent response to the Ukrainian invasion.
A state of emergency was declared in the Kursk border region, with Russian forces reportedly fighting near the town of
barriers,
Sudza.
and secondly, you're not
Ukrainian
seeing
troops
much of
have
a
advanced on
kind
foot
of
as much as 10 kilometers
resistance among
inside
the
Russian
general
territory.
population among law
The Institute
enforcement.
for the Study
There
of
hasn't
War
been one
has
shot
geolocated
reported
footage of
fired from
Ukrainian
any police
forces
station,
inside
and
Russia
also
in the past few
I think this
days,
slow-mo
and
kind
verified
of reaction
images
of the
appearing to
security
show
forces.
Russian prisoners of war being
If
taken
that is
at
indeed
border
the case,
checkpoints.
may indicate that the generals, the
talk about this a little bit
FSB, are
further
telling
on.
Putin enough is enough. I don't want to take this theory too far, but it seems as we go day by day by day, it seems to be making a lot more sense, and just quickly. And to the other thing is, it's very interesting who Mr. Putin put in charge of the operation to push back the Ukrainians, his former head of security, but he's also the fellow who was in charge of the evacuation of Viktor Yanukovych and also the annexation of Crimea, so he's got quite the rap sheet behind him.
As you say, that is just a theory. I mean, could this idea be explained instead by reports that, actually, a lot of the Russian troops, there are very inexperienced conscripts. As you say, that is just a theory. I mean, could this idea be explained instead by reports that, actually, a lot of the Russian troops, there are very inexperienced conscripts.
Well, that too, that is a factor, and we also have to try and look ahead and see what Mr. Putin would do, who is in very, very desperate shape. He's very, very angry, and he may actually have to have another campaign to conscript to get more fighters, and this is going to be another problem for him because it's very politically sensitive. But also I think a lot of Russians realize now that going to the front line, whether it's within Russia near Say's territory on the Ukrainian front line, that it's either a death sentence or you're going to come back very badly injured. So it's a multiple set of problems, I think, building up for him.
The reports of Kremlin aides saying that the West was involved in planning this, perhaps not surprising. The White House, as we said in the introduction, denying that it was involved and that had any notice of what was going to happen. But this points to us, doesn't it, the risks that might come from this incursion by Ukraine, which of course Western allies are watching very closely.
Sure, I mean it feeds very very nicely into the typical Russian propaganda narrative that it's Russia versus the West, but I think from the Ukrainian point of view, you know, there's the saying it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. I think that's what Ukraine did in this particular case, is they went in with some Western kit, not all of it but with some of it, and did what they have to do. And I think what we saw afterwards was what has been happening since the start of the war. Drip by drip or step by step, Western Island have been coming on board, whether it's provision of F-16s or others, and you might have seen as well that the UK has said okay for you to use our kit inside Russia. Yeah.
Do you think, Michael, sorry to interrupt, do you think these allies are also those saying to Ukraine, how far exactly are you trying to go with this?
I think the red line, Anita, will be when, if they bring in more sophisticated kit, I mean, you know, stuff that is actually captured by the Russians, and then the Russians are allowed to do their reverse engineering. That could be a red line for the West. So I think the Ukrainians are being wisely very selective in terms of what they're deploying. Thanks for watching this video.